Early last year, Balatro released and was met with critical acclaim. Its simple yet deep gameplay is infinitely replayable, but if you've dumped the ludicrous amount of hours into it like I have, you may be on the lookout for something a bit different, but that still scratches that pick up and play itch. If you search games like Balatro on the internet, you'll get a lot of deck building games, but that's not entirely what makes Balatro so fun. Balatro's addictive nature isn't solely based on the cards, it's about having a gameplay loop that revolves around something easily understood. In Balatro's case, it happens to be a deck of cards and the poker hands you play. Today, I've got a few games I'd like to show off that have that same arcadey, easily understandable gameplay loop that also have the depth to back it up. Games that aren't all about the cards, but scratch that replayable itch all the same. Rollscape has you rolling dice to move forward, with the ultimate goal being to pass 1,500 blocks. You'll be limited on how many rolls you can take, and if you do the math, you'll realize that a 6-sided die at 100 rolls, or even 120 rolls if you play on easy, is in fact not going to get you 1,500 blocks forward. You can improve your rolls, or even get more rolls through points and energy. Points are gained through blocks. Though blocks start with 0 points, you can purchase items in the shop that can see either light or dark blocks have more and more value. Some shop items even improve both block type values. Energy, on the other hand, is provided through gaining a certain amount of points, which of course means you want those shop upgrades. That's not the only way to gain energy though. Periodically in your run, you'll hit a fork in the road, where you'll choose a certain path. A few blocks into that path, you'll gain a perk, which can drastically improve your odds of success. Some perks offer shop rerolls, so you can really specialize your point gains. Others offer huge energy gains, which you can similarly use on shop refreshes, but more importantly, you can use that energy to purchase more dice rolls. If this all sounds very random, you'd be right. Rollscape really leans on the random roll of the dice, literally speaking in your actual dice rolls, and figuratively speaking in what items the shop will have and what perks you'll find on your run. This can lead to a frustrating situation where you'll end up losing at around the same point each run. For me, that was about the 700 to 800 mark, which makes sense considering you're rolling a 6-sided dice 100 times. For this reason, I do recommend playing on easy at first, because once you do finally make it to 1500 and win your first game, the rest of the game modes start to open up. The standard make it to 1500 mode isn't all that Rollscape has to offer. In fact, the game modes that unlock after your first win can be far more interesting. Trials specifically offer you a different kind of experience, with cards that you can equip to help meet certain criteria. Cards start with a challenge. Do this thing. Get 30 points before block 50, collect 300 energy before block 500, and so on. These challenges can be pretty insane on their own, but thankfully once you complete a challenge, that card will flip and will instead offer a permanent upgrade that you can equip for future challenges. The challenge to get 30 points before block 50 might flip and will then give you 30 points to start a run with. Completing challenges moves you up the ranks, but those challenges also turn into a benefit that will help you in future runs and challenges. Compared to the standard game mode, trials start out much easier and offer much more strategy beyond simply reaching an arbitrary score requirement. It is a bit annoying that Rollscape locks its modes behind a win, considering that it may take you a couple of hours to actually get that win, but even so, it's an incredibly fun game and there's plenty to unlock and try out. It's an extremely simple premise, even more so than Balatro. Instead of having to learn poker hands, all you do in Rollscape is, well, roll. I'm still working on unlocking things and completing trials, but if you're looking for a different take on the Balatro formula, definitely check out Rollscape. Nubby's number factory is Plinko, but, well, actually it's mostly just Plinko. You toss a ball, or rather Nubby himself, down to hit the pegs. Each peg has a number, and hitting that peg awards you with that number in points. The peg then gets halved until eventually its value hits 0 and the peg is destroyed. It's as simple as that. Hit the pegs to get the points. What keeps things interesting is, of course, the items. Every handful of rounds you'll visit the shop and purchase items that you'll slap on your inventory bar. These items range from launching projectiles to hit more pegs, all the way to amplifying the peg's value. You'll also occasionally run across perks. These are a bit different from items in that they're more about reactivating items in certain slots. For example, take the cactus item, which fires a needle to hit pegs, put it in item slot 1, then get a bunch of perks that reactivate slot 1 item, and the result is this. Whatever you call this. Pandemonium. Pandemonium is a good thing in Nubby's Number Factory though. The more points you can score above the requirement, the more value the next round of pegs will hold. This very quickly snowballs into some ludicrous point gains, and the game will even tell you when you've broken the counter. From millions to billions to quintillions to numbers you'll probably have to look up, like Google. And I don't mean the search engine. Have you ever Googled Google? It's harder than you might think. How many zeros? 10 duotrigintillion. 10 sexdecillard. Who came up with this stuff? The visuals go for a more crusty, deep-fried look. It doesn't detract too much, but there were times I had to step away for a bit since it could be a bit of an eyesore. But that doesn't stop that dopamine hit when you score 10,000 times higher than the score requirement. The only issue with Nubbies is really the amount of content. There's a fair amount of items and perk combinations, along with characters to pair them with, but it doesn't have nearly the replay value of its contemporaries. For $5 though, it's still a steal, and if you can get past the musty visuals, Nubbies is a really great time. Just be careful not to nub yourself raw. 45 is the final game I'd like to bring up, and it's by far the cheapest since it's free. Not only free, but open source. 45 is a deck builder, and while it doesn't have the immediately understandable foundation of the other games in this video, it's by no means hard to understand. It's a dueling western, and the idea is to take your cards, or bullets, and load them into your 5 shooter. 5? Why 5? Loading a round takes energy, the amount of which can be seen at the top of the card. The damage dealt by the shot is listed at the bottom of the card. Load rounds, shoot the baddie. It's as easy as that. Alright, maybe it's not quite as easy. Maybe it's a little bit harder. There's more strategy here than you might originally think. It's turn-based, meaning you'll have free range to fire upon your target until you run out of energy or ammo. The trick is, though, that your foes will have that chance to fire upon you as well. This incoming damage can be mitigated through a couple of means, either by having shielding to deflect the damage, or a bullet of your own to parry the damage. Don't question it, I don't know how it works. The amount of damage blocked through a parry from your own shot depends on the firepower of the shot you use. Bullets also have a slew of effects that can do all sorts of things, from setting your foes on fire, to affecting the damage of other bullets, to even interacting with the effects of similar bullets. There's a real layer of depth to everything, and while it can get pretty crazy with managing multiple enemies, cylinder rotations, arena modifiers, and bullet effects, it's never too much, and having the ability to take your time really helps. Except for that one arena that forces you to shoot. I really hate that one. It's not terribly complicated, but there's enough moving parts to really have you thinking of the order of your actions. This is also probably the toughest game on the list. Taking damage feels like an unavoidable outcome at times, and you'll be sent back to the start quite a bit. Regardless, it's still an incredibly fun game, and as I said, it's completely free. There's really no reason to not give it a go, and I don't think you'll regret it. So those are the Balatro-likes I've run across recently. It's been a lot of fun playing these games, and I'll likely keep picking them up to get a few matches in here and there. My personal favorite is probably Rollscape, since I think it captures that one more run feeling the best, at least once you get your first win and unlock those other modes. Regardless, these games are all incredibly cheap, and even free in 45's case. If you're looking for some more games that are easy to pick up and put down at a moment's notice, look no further than these gems.